now going to hear from Agathe Chevalier, CompaSciences 2.0. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be presenting in front of you today. Our project which focuses on mapping scientific knowledge in Switzerland. So to give you first a little bit of background, we created 9 years ago as a collaboration between Le Triangle Azur and the universities of Geneva, Lausanne and Neuchâtel and Radio-Télévision Suisse, the website that is called Avis d'Experts. Avis d'Experts aims to gather all the interventions of scientists in Western Switzerland when they speak at RTS. And as you can see, 9 years later, we have over 13,000 videos and audios of over 3,300 experts, which means it's a testimony to the incredible commitment of journalists and scientists to transfer information to the general public. And we have 34 partner institutions, which are all the higher level institutions of knowledge in Western Switzerland. The question I had was this, that I managed this website, but the question I had, how can we make it more useful for journalists to find the right expert at the right time on the right topic? Because the question is, when you search in Avis d'Experts, for instance, for climate, you get 500 videos, 80 different experts. How do you know who is the right one? So we needed a map and a compass, and the first work we did with, thanks to IMI from in 2020 and 21, was CompaSciences 1.0, and it's a semantic mapping tool connecting knowledge, experts, and media content. So what you're seeing here is a semantic map of Avis d'Experts with the word climate. And you can access this, you can also play within the map, and you can also know who is talking about it on the French TV and radio at RTS. And not only that, here you have the names of the people in purple, but you can also know what their specific research field is, or at least a specific area in which they talk on TV and radio. You know exactly if this person is talking about climate change, which is the keyword here, from a political point of view, an economical point of view, or a general scientific impact of climate point of view. And of course, you can also access media content directly. So here what you have is all the topics that were covered in RTS, and you can click the link, you can listen to the video or to the audio, and you can sort this information any which way that might be convenient for you, either by data, by number of occurrences, by the name of the person, by the name of the institution, by the gender balance to ensure that you're at the right gender balance, which is a recurrent worry for journalists, and also by the TV show or radio that's concerned. So from that, we wanted to go further, of course, and thanks to IMI again, we could go for a second project, which is CompaSciences 2.0, and which had a threefold goal. The first one was to consolidate computational analysis, because what you saw we developed in 9 to 10 months, so it really had to be solidified a little bit, to identify new experts that would not yet be involved in the media, and finally to adapt the tool to a journalist's daily routine. So for the first point, which is consolidating computational analysis, there is a lot of this work that you don't see, because you see it entails cleaning up the data so that the semantic analysis is extremely accurate, and also ensuring that the visualization that we get are easily accessible and readable for us and for journalists afterwards. But one of the points that we made for this is a dashboard, so that journalists can immediately see for any term that they choose. Here it's, again, I took the example of climate change for everything so that you can compare things. But here for climate change, you can see over time, that's the first upper top from the left, you can see over time how it was addressed by RTS, by who were the top experts who were talking about it, and in what shows it's addressed most often. You can see what's the gender balance in this, and you can see what are the institutions that are positioning themselves first into it. And also you can choose the general theme compared to the general themes that are covered in Avis d'Experts. So that's part of the consolidation of computational analysis. The second objective was to identify new experts. This is special for you, Mr. Vetali, because we were trying to tap the Swiss National Science Foundation P3 database. So, of course, the idea was to go and see if we can identify all scientists who are working in Switzerland on what they are working, and to map this. That's P3 database is a database, for those who are not familiar with it, that gathers all the funding that has been granted by the Swiss National Science Foundation for research projects in Switzerland. And it was a big test for us, because the question was, are we going to have the ability to adapt our software to this completely new database? And the particular challenge was that it was a multilingual database, which requested us to have semantic robustness in German, French, Italian, and English. And the way we did this, we translated everything to English, which was the main core of the database, and we did the semantic analysis. And the results were actually quite excellent. We were really, really happy with it, because what you see here is a mapping of how climate change is researched in Switzerland, according to the P3 database. And of course, as you saw before, you can have the experts who are talking about it here on the column number on your right. And you can again access the data directly by going into, either you click on the link and you get the request itself, or you can sort it again by researcher, by institution. And we are still adjusting this so that you can sort it also with more parameters than are actually available. And the third point was to identify, was to adapt the tool to journalists' daily routine. So we are currently doing this by doing an in-depth analysis with RTS. So one part is quantitative analysis. There is a question that is currently going on all through RTS to see how journalists and other people involved with gathering information and finding experts are working. The second is qualitative analysis. We're doing in-depth shadowing. We're following actually researchers day by day in 4 shows, 2 on the radio, 2 on TV, to see how they interact with each other, how they gather information, and what are their way of behaving, so that the third element can come into application, which is how we adapt the tool to the context of the journalist, so that it's very smooth and not a hindrance or something else that they have to do. And of course, one of the first steps was to make it responsive. So you can have it on tablet, you can have it on the cell phone, which is the journalist's favorite tool, and you can also, it's touch responsive, so you can play on the screens and things like this. And finally, we will insert all these elements into Avid Expert so that we can provide this to the journalists. So the conclusion is that CompaSciences 2.0 is a robust, effective tool to map any large enough semantic database in multiple languages with strategic search or analysis for efficient decision making. And it's a new effective tool for journalists or anyone interested in identifying experts. And I have a lot of requests right now for people who are managing conferences to find, conference people who can intervene like this. So I would like to thank very much the team I'm working with. It's wonderful to be working with them. We all have a very good commitment to this project, so it's really great. And also thank IMI for their support for all these years, and we hope we can match up to that support. Thank you very much.